I have spent the last 15 and a half years believing a lie about sync licensing that I regret, that I wish I didn't believe, because I actually believe this lie seriously hampered my development, my royalties, my sync fees, my network in this industry. So in today's video, I'm going to reveal to you what lie I just recently discovered and corrected in my thinking, along with 4 others that many of you guys might be believing right now. So this is a video that is not meant to preach at you, but meant to confess to you that we all can find and hear about certain things, or just form our own opinions about certain elements of sync licensing and how to succeed and thrive in this business. And later on find out if we didn't challenge that assumption, it was the wrong one. And so if you're new to sync licensing, you definitely don't want to miss out on this one, because I think these tips can certainly help set you on a much clearer path, have you thinking about this industry in a much clearer way, so that you're not making the mistake that I made, including many other, I think, lies that are out there circulating on the internet about this industry and what can really help you succeed, or what can help you not help you essentially succeed. Okay, let's jump right into it. First lie: you can just outsource your mixing and mastering. No, you can't. I'm sorry. If you want to just throw one album at a library, like total for your career, sure. Just go pay a mixing and mastering engineer to mix your tracks, throw it to a sync licensing catalog, and maybe do that once a year if you want to do that, and then that's it. If you're casually interested in sync, yeah, you could probably have somebody else do it. If you want to be a serious inner circle member of a production music library, you cannot rely on a third-party mixing and mastering engineer. You cannot rely on an AI online mixing and mastering program, because the turnaround and the need to create custom revisions and notes to your music is going to be so high and so quick that if you're relying on a third-party person or an AI model that you can't have custom controls over, they will just see you as somebody that's not reliable and not quick enough to keep up with the pace of this industry. That's the truth. Once you get your album done and you send it off to a library, let's say you used, your favorite mixing and mastering engineer, they're not going to just go, all right, cool, bro, thanks for the tracks, you're all good to go. I mean, could, but chances are they're going to say, hey, track number 3, it's a little overcompressed. Can you do something about that? Track number 7, the cymbals are a little bit washed out, a little bit tinny. Maybe you need to fix that. Track number 9 has, this kind of growling and dirty low end to it. We need to really clean that up. Those are the kind of notes you're going to get from a library. And if you have to go to a third party or to an AI mastering program that you don't get to tell it that and have some custom controls over it, you're kind of screwed. And especially when it comes down to short turnaround custom opportunities. That's where the biggest money usually is in this business. It's the library you got accepted to saying, hey, John, Joe, Jane, can you get me something by Friday at 5 p.m.? Right now it's Wednesday at 9 a.m. Here's the brief. Here's what they're looking for. Can you get us blah, 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 blah? And let's say you send it to them Thursday and they say, that's great. The mix is a little bit weird. Can you do this and do this and do this? And you can't get a hold of your mixing and mastering engineer because he's booked on a session. And that AI thing that you've been using, you can keep hitting master, but it's not changing exactly what you want it to change because it's not up to you. You don't have any custom controls over it. You're screwed. You just can't keep up with it. You're not going to be able to deliver to them, and the library will go, oh, okay, Joe, Jane, and whoever, they're not somebody we should send these custom opportunities to, short-term ones, because they just can't deliver on time. You can learn how to mix and master your tracks by yourself. You can get it to the point where they are marketable, licensable, and competitive in the marketplace. It doesn't mean the best mixing and mastering you've ever heard in your life. You don't need to compare yourself to the best mixing and mastering engineers out there. That's not the right approach to this. You just need to make sure that it's licensable, it's marketable, and it's competitive with the other tracks that are in the library that you're submitting to. We give you guys all those tools, resources, tutorials in Sync Academy, but I'll be honest, no tutorial will ever get you there. It doesn't matter. The only way for you to get there is by constantly doing it, like literally comparing your mix to a great high quality piece of production music that you want your track to sound like. Be honest with yourself and notice what's working about theirs, what's not working about yours, and constantly A/B compare with the notes and the mixing plugins that you have to get it to that point. We obviously, can give you feedback and pro feedback. We can give you tutorials in Sync Academy, but at the end of the day, your improvement will come from yourself. Make no mistake about it, okay? Second lie, And this is the one that I believed for 15 and a half years, just figured this out 6 months ago. I believed that collaborating with other producers, songwriters, vocalists reduced my income. Not true at all. On the surface, it sounds like it because you're like, well, I'm going to be splitting my royalties 50-50, or if it's two other people, it's 33% each. So I'm going to be cutting my income by working with other people. I want 100% of those writers' royalties for myself. If I'm going to be relying on that for my full bread and butter income, which is what I was doing, I'm not giving up any of that, right? If I don't have to. And what I didn't think about, and I didn't challenge myself on this lie, was the fact that when you start collaborating, particularly with vocalists, but also can be with producers and artists and songwriters and composers, is that you're expanding your network. You might be getting into new catalogs, new companies, new opportunities, and because there's 2 or 3 minds coming together to produce this music, your productivity can double in a shorter amount of time because you don't have to do the full track. You're only doing half of the work, roughly, right? So your output can expand much more, much quicker. Your network can expand much higher, and your income can expand because, especially if you're working with vocalists or other really high quality producers and composers, you might be increasing the value of your production music by having your strengths accommodate somebody else's strengths. So you've got some amazing high quality trailer music and you work with a really incredible, dope vocalist. You just took your production music quality that much higher in value, which means potentially you could get higher sync fees, higher placement opportunities, higher royalties, higher consideration fees from libraries and all that good stuff. So it's that old adage, you want 100% of your grape or do you want 50% of a watermelon? I believed this lie for way too long, and it limited me and it forced me for many years of my career to not collaborate. I'm telling you guys, please learn from my mistake. Don't do that. I would recommend you maybe do one album where you produce it yourself. The next album, collaborate. Find somebody to do a 50-50 split with. We've got a great new collaborate feature in Sync Academy. You can find people there. Wherever you find them, make sure that your strengths accommodate their strengths, or your weaknesses can be sort of compensated by their strengths, all that kind of stuff. But I would say maybe half of the time you should be splitting your writer share half of the time, 50%, with somebody that can really help you expand the quality of your music. I do think that you can expand much more and thrive even more by collaborating in this business. It doesn't mean you just open yourself up to anybody. You can collaborate with the wrong people, and people can be nightmares and headaches and not deliver and be flakes. So you got to be very selective. You got to think about, carefully who you're going to be working with. People that are serious, of course, would be a higher, somebody who's been committed to this industry for a long time. That's obviously a better bet. But collaborating is definitely something you should be considering, okay? Lie number 3. This is an uncomfortable one because a lot of people online don't want to admit this, or they just maybe don't believe it, but I think it's true. The lie is that, talent doesn't matter. You could be born with musical talents or not, proclivities, no, it doesn't matter. It's just how many hours you put into your home studio, and you'll eventually get to the point where your music is licensable and ready to go. I would love for that to be true. That'd be awesome and amazing. I'm just telling you guys, honestly, I've been doing this too long now and reviewed too many tracks and had so many interactions with so many students. It's not true. It's just not. We're not all born with a blank slate of equal propensity or potential for musical excellence. It's not true. You guys know it's not true. You've met somebody probably that's tone deaf, right? You've met somebody who cannot hear if a tone or a note is too high or too low. They just don't have that ability. Do we all run the same speed? Do we all jump the same height? Can we all play basketball the same? Can we all access mathematical understanding just as easily? No, we all know, and everything else in life, our brains are all very diverse, and we're kind of born and brought into this world with different abilities and talents and gifts and weaknesses as well, right? So that also extends to music. So some of you guys, and what I've noticed and what I've coached, are jumping into this with a lot of wind at your back because you've got great musical talents, you've got melody, you've got rhythm, you got musical ideas, you got musical melodic generators, you've got great sense of harmony. Whatever it is, working with a DAW, there are things that are coming to you more naturally, more enjoyably, and so that's why you can keep moving this direction. I have coached many producers that have just been hitting walls over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. They're trying. I don't believe that they're not working hard enough. They're putting in their 10,000 hours. It doesn't matter. They're constantly not hearing the issues that I'm hearing in it. And if you're not hearing the problems, like you're not hearing things that are out of tune, out of time, not focused in a genre, if you're not hearing these things internally, I can get the first couple of times you get into this, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, so now I understand. That's what we do, our feedback sessions for. But eventually your ears, if they're not catching it themselves, I don't know if this is going to be the right fit for you. I don't know if sync licensing, maybe another part of the music world might be a better fit. But sync licensing does require talent. Talent is not the most important element, not by far. We talked about a million times on this channel. It's mindset, it's your attitude, it's your work ethic, it's your ability to come and be a service person, and it's your ability to consistently show up. Talent does make a difference though, okay? So we want to make sure that we're very clear on that. We're being realistic, okay? Fourth lie, and I hear this a lot from music supervisors and review panels and even a lot of sync licensing events. Any style of music can work for sync licensing. You do this, yeah, there's going to be a place for that. You do that, yeah, there's going to be a place for that. It doesn't matter what you're doing, there will be a home for it. Technically, probably true. You can do death metal polka and probably find some obscure documentary created in the Netherlands that will be using that style of music at some point. Okay, yes, every style of music probably will have a home. Is that what you really want to get involved with this industry for? You want to basically wait for that 1 out of a million opportunities, maybe somewhere, because it's the style that you just love? Ethereal, experimental, odd time signature stuff. Yeah, somewhere, somehow, there might be a place for that. The uncomfortable truth is it's not really high in demand. Okay, go turn on a TV, go watch streaming, listen to what you're listening to. Do you hear odd, experimental, strange styles of music? You don't. You really don't, okay? You're going to hear a top list of the most in-demand genres, which we've talked about 1,000 times on this channel. If you're not familiar, rock, pop, EDM, Americana, folk, corporate, minimal, tension, orchestral, trailer, et cetera, right? These are sort of the main larger umbrella genres. There's millions of subgenres underneath them that are getting the placements. So if you can't figure out a way to get yourself under one of those umbrellas and still enjoy it, not feel like you're selling your soul or making music that you hate, life is short. Why spend all this time making ethereal, experimental, chill step, relaxing music, which I've gotten emails from producers who are doing that, and then later on, years later, go like, oh crap, that didn't do anything, nobody's placing it. Well, please talk to me before you make that decision. It's not true that every type of music can find sizable income. Let's say that. Yes, every kind of music can find a home somewhere, but come on. The realistic reason why you guys are subscribed to this channel, getting involved in sync, is you don't want one placement every 5 years or every 10 years. You want placements every single quarter, right? And in order to do that, you got to kind of go to where the wind is blowing. You got to have your finger on the pulse of what's in demand, what styles of music, what genres are really doing well, okay? And the last lie that many of you maybe even do believe watching this video right now, and this might be a bubble popper moment for some of you, and we talked about this at Sync Up, is that you could just directly follow in my exact path, right? So in my path, I worked with 2 or 3 different exclusive libraries. I played a numbers game. I was exclusively working with these companies and giving them each exclusive 3 to 5 tracks essentially per week, and constantly cranking out those numbers, occasionally doing these sync, upfront custom opportunities, but really more playing the long game of just growing my catalog and relying on those passive back-end income royalties for my full-time income. That might work out for some of you guys to do exactly what I'm doing. I have met a few recently that have been doing exactly that. Probably won't be though. I'll be honest with you guys. You probably will be carving out your own unique path in this industry that won't look anything like what I'm doing. You might get yourself involved with some video game opportunities that pay you some amazingly great upfront sync fees. I never got involved with video games. I just wasn't that interested in a one-time fee. I wanted the more passive back-end royalties. But there might be some opportunities for you guys to find some of those. There might be some VR opportunities or some AR opportunities or new technologies, maybe some generative AI companies that come in where you can find that you can get some recurring revenue by supplying them with some of your music. So don't get so married or tied into any one person's particular path or what worked for them, because I don't have your strengths or weaknesses. I don't have your background. I didn't get started when you're getting started. I got started in essentially a kind of a different era, a different time, 2008. So just remember that for every bit of advice or tip or strategy that I share with you guys, take it with a massive grain of salt that it's what I'm seeing work for some students. And maybe it's worked personally for me, but you're going to have to carve out your own individual path in this industry and work with your own companies and the people that you find that are really connecting with you, and really just kind of following your own gut here. So you do have to learn that at some point you can't just rely on everybody else's advice for your career. You can take advice, you can listen to tips and insights and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, your career, it's your path, and it's going to be unique to you. So hopefully with these 5 lies, now revealed as lies, maybe that's a strong word for it, but whatever, misunderstandings about this industry, you can be on a much more profitable and clear path for your career in sync licensing. So let me know, what did I miss? What else am I not talking about here? What else should I be including? Were there other lies that you've heard about this business that you think I should cover? I'd love to get some ideas, because your comments usually turn in some great high quality videos on this channel.